Parasites are one of the biggest challenges for goat farmers. Internal parasites like barber pole worms can cause serious health problems, anemia, weight loss, and even death if not managed properly. But relying solely on chemical dewormers has led to growing resistance, meaning these medicines don't always work like they used to. But here's the good news. You can grow your own solution. There are plants, common ones, even, that naturally help your goats fight parasites from the inside out. And in this video, we're going to show you which ones to plant, why they work, and how to build a healthier pasture from the ground up. Some plants naturally contain compounds that help reduce parasite loads in goats. These include condensed tannins, bitter substances, and essential oils that make the animals less hospitable hosts for worms. Feeding goats a diet rich in these forages can lower the number of parasite eggs they shed in their droppings, which reduces pasture contamination and breaks the parasite life cycle. It's a natural, sustainable approach that works best when combined with other good management practices like rotational grazing and regular health checks. Plus, many of these plants offer added benefits, better nutrition, improved soil health, and increased biodiversity on your farm. Growing the right mix of anti-parasitic forages can help keep your goats healthier and reduce your reliance on medications over time. One of the most fascinating and frankly underrated aspects of goat behavior is their ability to self-medicate when given the right environment. Goats aren't just random grazers. They're selective browsers, constantly adjusting what they eat based on how they feel. When you give goats access to a diverse pasture or silvopasture, full of grasses, herbs, shrubs, and trees, you're basically giving them a natural pharmacy. Studies and anecdotal evidence from regenerative farmers show that goats will seek out bitter plants, tannin-rich leaves, and even astringent herbs when they're fighting off internal parasites. For example, a goat feeling off might suddenly spend more time chewing on wormwood, nibbling blackberry leaves, or nosing through chicory. They're not just being picky. They're targeting compounds that help regulate gut health, flush out worms, and reduce inflammation. This behavior is called zoopharmacognosy, and it's been observed in everything from goats to elephants. But here's the key. It only works when goats have options. A monoculture pasture of just one or two grasses doesn't allow them to balance their needs or target specific problems. So, if you're aiming to reduce chemical dewormer use and raise healthier animals, your best bet isn't just to add one or two antiparasitic plants. It's to build a rich, dynamic pasture. Let your goats teach you what works. They've been doing this longer than we have. Let's dive into some of the best forage plants that naturally help control parasites in goats. Bird's foot trefoil. This legume is prized for its high tannin content, which naturally reduces parasite loads without the risk of bloat. It's also persistent and grows well in pastures with low fertility, making it a great choice for regenerative grazing systems. Chicory with deep taproots and high mineral content. Chicory is rich in sesquiterpene lactones, compounds shown to reduce internal parasites in goats and sheep. It's also drought resistant and easy to establish in a pasture mix. Sainfoin is one of the most effective natural dewormers in pasture, thanks to its exceptionally high levels of condensed tannins. It improves parasite resistance and has been shown to enhance FAMACHA scores in multiple livestock studies. Several studies, particularly from Europe and Canada, have shown impressive results from Sainfoin. INRA, France, and Agroscope, Switzerland. Researchers found that goats grazing on Sainfoin pastures had lower fecal egg counts, fewer clinical signs of parasitism, and better FAMACHA scores, meaning less anemia and higher resilience to Haemonchus infections. A 2016 study published in Veterinary Parasitology found that Sainfoin-fed lambs showed a reduction of over 50% in worm burden compared to those on clover, or alfalfa diets. What sets Sainfoin apart is that its tannins are bioavailable and beneficial. Unlike some other tannin-rich plants where the compounds can reduce digestibility, Sainfoin strikes the perfect balance. It binds to proteins in the rumen just enough to protect them from parasite damage, but not so much that it reduces nutrient absorption. This makes Sainfoin especially valuable in meat and dairy goat systems where growth and milk production matter. Plantain is a hardy perennial known for its astringent and antimicrobial properties. It supports gut health and has shown antiparasitic potential. It's often found naturally in pastures and tolerates heavy grazing. Dandelion. This common weed is a mineral powerhouse. especially rich in calcium and potassium. It supports liver function and digestion. And while it's not a strong anthelmintic, it can aid in overall parasite resilience. Yarrow is an aromatic herb with anti-inflammatory and mild antiparasitic properties. It helps tone and support the digestive tract and is useful as part of a diverse, forage-rich grazing area. Burdock goats will often nibble on burdock leaves or roots, which are known to support liver and gut detoxification. The root contains compounds that help clear parasitic waste and reduce systemic inflammation. Fennel seeds and leaves are a traditional remedy for intestinal worms. It's sweet-smelling, palatable, and has carminative, gas-reducing properties that support digestion. Stinging nettle is extremely nutrient-dense and helps detoxify the body, especially after parasite die-off. It's also a blood builder and promotes vitality, making it a valuable ally in parasite management. Calendula, often grown for pollinators, Calendula's flavonoids and resins offer gentle antiparasitic and anti-inflammatory benefits. It's great for rotational salad bars and regenerative grazing systems. Tansy, with caution, contains potent compounds like thujone, which have long been used in herbal worming formulas. However, it can be toxic in high doses, so goats should only access it in very limited amounts, if at all. Horsemint, Tosh, bee balm, a native mint family plant. Horsemint is strongly aromatic and has antimicrobial, antifungal, and mild antiparasitic qualities. It's a great addition to hedgerows or mixed wild pastures. Now onto some shrubs. Let's start with the gold standard of natural deworming shrubs, Sericea lespedeza. This deep-rooted legume is packed with condensed tannins that bind to parasite proteins and reduce fecal egg counts. It's been studied extensively and consistently shows results in managing barber pole worms and other internal parasites in goats. Researchers at Tuskegee University, Fort Valley State, and Louisiana State University have repeatedly shown that goats fed lespedeza hay or pellets, lespedeza hay or pellets exhibit up to 80% reduction in fecal egg counts, sometimes outperforming commercial dewormers. Lespedeza doesn't lead to resistance. In fact, it's part of the solution to slowing down resistance development. A 2013 USDA study found that goats grazing Sericea lespedeza maintained better body condition and required fewer deworming treatments. Sericea lespedeza is arguably one of the most problematic invasive species of old fields, prairies, and other early successional areas managed for wildlife, so while it's wonderful, manage accordingly or plant where it cannot spread. Wormwood, Artemisia cp. This potent plant lives up to its name. Wormwood contains thujone, a compound that's highly effective against a range of parasites, but also toxic in large amounts. It's best used in moderation as a supplement or part of a rotational browse area. If goats have access to wormwood, they tend to self-regulate. Blackberry and bramble. Don't pull those brambles just yet. Blackberry bushes are loaded with tannin-rich leaves that help tighten the digestive tract, reduce inflammation, and lower parasite egg shedding. Often overlooked, Russian olive is a hardy, drought-tolerant shrub commonly used in silvopasture systems. Its silvery leaves and small fruits are high in secondary plant compounds that can reduce parasite loads and boost immune response. If you're in the western U.S., your goats might already be familiar with sagebrush. It's not a preferred browse, but when other options are limited, goats will turn to this bitter shrub. Sagebrush contains volatile oils and sesquiterpenes. Privet. Used with caution, privet is sometimes browsed by goats and contains compounds with antiparasitic effects. A close cousin to wormwood, sweet Annie is famous as the original source of artemisinin, one of the most powerful antiparasitic compounds used in both traditional and modern medicine. It's especially effective against protozoa and worms. Now let's look up for other options. Let's kick this off with black walnut. This tree produces juglone, a compound known for its antifungal and antiparasitic effects. While goats will browse the leaves and twigs, moderation is key. Too much can irritate the gut or affect other plants nearby due to juglone's allelopathic effects. Still, in a diverse browse setup, black walnut offers a solid medicinal edge. Oak trees, especially white oak, are rich in tannins, which help bind up proteins and parasites and reduce their ability to thrive in the gut. Both acorns and bark can support parasite control, but use caution. If goats gorge on acorns, especially green ones, it can lead to toxicity. Managed access in fall or strategic browsing works best. Eastern white pine is especially favored in the Northeast and Midwest. Goats readily nibble on the needles and tender bark, and the soft needles are rich in vitamin C, trace minerals, and even offer mild antiparasitic effects. This is especially important in the cold months when goats' immune systems can dip, and parasite eggs can still survive in bedding or barn areas. But it's not just eastern white pine. Many soft pines like Virginia pine, Scotch pine, and ponderosa in moderation can be used safely in rotation. The tannins and essential oils in pine needles are thought to create a less hospitable environment for internal parasites, though they're not a standalone cure. One of the most creative and sustainable ways to bring pine into your winter feeding strategy is with post-holiday Christmas trees. As long as they're unsprayed and free from chemicals or decor, they make an excellent temporary enrichment and natural deworming tool for goats. Goats will strip the needles, chew the bark, and enjoy climbing or rubbing on the branches. Farmers have reported firmer stools and less parasite stress during winter months when pine is part of the diet. It also reduces waste in your community. Many people are happy to donate their real trees once the holidays are over. Quick note, not all evergreens are safe. Avoid yew or anything with an unknown background. Stick to known non-toxic species and always introduce slowly. Silvopasture bonus. Pines work well in silvopasture designs, offering shade, erosion control, and diversified foraging. With smart management, you can plant and protect a few pines as part of a long-term rotational grazing plan, giving your goats something green to chew even in deep winter. Albizia, often called mimosa, is a fast-growing, nitrogen-fixing tree with soft, feathery leaves and beautiful blooms. In herbal medicine, it's used for parasite control and calming effects, not just physically, but emotionally too. Goats will readily browse the foliage, and it's especially useful in hot, poor soils where other trees struggle. Mulberry trees are one of the most underrated goat trees. The leaves are highly palatable and loaded with protein, minerals, and compounds that help reduce parasite loads. Mulberry supports overall gut health and milk production, and lactating does. It's a goat superfood that doubles as shade, forage, and even fencing in some cases. Willow, best known for its natural salicin, the compound that inspired aspirin. Willow helps fight inflammation and supports gut health. It also plays a role in mild parasite control. Goats will browse the bark and twigs when available, and many herbalists value willow as a multifunctional medicinal tree on farms. Black locust and honey locust can both be used in moderation. Their leaves and pods are edible, with some antiparasitic activity. Black locust leaves are higher in tannin-citic activity. While honey locust pods are sweeter and more palatable. Just be cautious. Some parts, like seeds and unripe pods, can be risky if overfed. Best used as unripe pods can be risky if overfed. Best used as a supplement to pasture. That wraps up our look at antiparasitic forages and how they can support your goat's health. Remember, diverse forages are key to keeping your herd strong and thriving year-round. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment below with your favorite browser goat tips. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below with your favorite browser goat tips. Thanks for watching, and happy grazing.